Voting began in the Netherlands on Thursday, at the start of a 4-day election across the European Union. The new European Parliament faces mounting security, industrial and political challenges, and the Dutch vote encapsulates the EU's main internal political dilemma: the rising popularity of Eurosceptic and nationalist far-right parties that want to dismantle it from within. The European Parliament is one of the 3 EU institutions that run the 27-nation bloc. Together with EU governments, the 720-seat chamber decide on laws that govern its single market of almost 450 million people, including its $1 trillion long-term budget and laws to prevent climate change. The EU is facing various external challenges, including industrial competition from China and the United States, the security threat from Russia, and the existential threat of climate change. Polls show pro-European parties around the political centre, the centre-right and centre-left, Liberals and Greens, will have a smaller majority than in the outgoing parliament. That will complicate efforts to push through new EU laws or increase EU integration. And Europe's centre-right is likely to win the most seats in the new EU legislature, with far-right parties expected to make gains too. The projected rise in Eurosceptic lawmakers would not stop the EU in its tracks, but it may make it more difficult to push through policies that give it more power or share resources within the bloc. This might affect priorities over the next 5 years, including the EU's transition to net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050 and boosting the EU's defence production capabilities. EU officials argue Russia's invasion of Ukraine shows the EU must work together to defend itself, but the issue is highly contentious and would have a tougher time in a more Eurosceptic European Parliament.
When a branch of Costco opened last year in a small country town north of Tokyo, it caused ripples across the local economy and maybe right across Japan, because the US retail giant was offering pay that caused a stir. At 1,500 yen, or nearly $10 per hour, its minimum wage is 60% above the minimum in the surrounding area, and would be good even in Tokyo. That gave local firms something to think about. At a nearby noodle shop, marketing manager Takahiro Ehashi decided he had no option but to hike wages to compete.
For us, even a 1 or 2 yen rise in raw material costs is tough, so to increase hourly pay by even 10 yen is extremely challenging, as we need to generate far more sales. But since Costco opened, it's become a kind of magnet, and we have more customers, so it's overall a positive.
Economists see a very hopeful signal. If higher salaries at foreign firms force local companies to raise pay too, it might just spark a virtuous cycle of rising wages and consumption. That would be huge news in a country where real wages barely grew at all between 1995 and 2021. Better pay might mean people like Costco worker Ryu Kawane feel more ready to spend money and boost the economy.
Partly due to COVID, my income really fluctuated before I joined Costco. Since starting at Costco, I've received a high, stable salary, so I felt more stability in my everyday life as well.
Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has made sustainable wage rises a key goal, while the Bank of Japan wants to see similar signs before it does more rate hikes. Not everyone is happy though. Some local businesses have complained about the pressure to raise wages and the challenge in competing for workers. But Town Mayor Motosuke Tomizuka says the store's arrival has boosted pay all over the area and sparked a tangible upturn.
When the local economy enters a phase of rising wages, what do business owners do? They do their best to make money. That's how the economic pie finally grows and spurs revitalization.
Now Costco plans to open many more stores in Japan, while other major foreign firms, including furniture giant IKEA, are also paying relatively well. The government will be hoping that just might be the start of something big.